My phone buzzed, a notification from Facebook. I glanced at the screen, expecting the usual updates, maybe a meme or a friend's vacation photo. But this time it was different. Mark had updated his relationship status. Engaged. My stomach lurched as if I had been punched. We'd only broken up 6 months ago. It felt like yesterday when we decided to part ways, thinking we needed time to grow individually. Clicking the notification, I saw her. My heart pounded in my chest, each beat echoing louder than the last. My sister, beaming in a white dress, her eyes sparkling with joy. She looked beautiful, radiant even. And there he was, Mark, with his arm around her waist, smiling as if he had found his perfect match. My sister, engaged, to my ex-fiancé. The realization hit me like a tidal wave, overwhelming and relentless. The phone slipped from my grasp, clattering onto the floor. The world spun around me. This couldn't be happening. It felt like a nightmare I couldn't wake up from. I picked up the phone, my hand shaking uncontrollably. The picture was real. The news, inescapable. There was no denying it. A wave of nausea washed over me, my body reacting to the betrayal in the most visceral way. Betrayal, sharp and cold, pierced through the initial shock. It was a pain I had never felt before, cutting deeper than any physical wound. How could they do this to me? How could my own sister and the man I once loved betray me like this? How could they hurt me like this? Tears streamed down my face, each one a testament to the pain and confusion swirling inside me. My own flesh and blood, the sister I had grown up with, shared secrets with, and trusted implicitly. And the man I thought I'd spend my life with, the one who had promised me forever. The two people I trusted most in the world had shattered my heart into a million pieces. The betrayal was too much to bear, leaving me questioning everything I thought I knew about love and loyalty. The following days were a blur. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep. The image of their smiling faces, a constant torment. My mind raced, trying to comprehend the betrayal. Had they been seeing each other while we were still together? The thought was unbearable, the pain, visceral. Friends called, offering condolences, but their words seemed distant, muffled. How could they understand? This wasn't just a breakup. This was a betrayal of epic proportions, a double betrayal, by the two people who were supposed to love and protect me. I felt utterly alone, adrift in a sea of pain and confusion. The pressure to be happy for them was immense. My parents, oblivious to the truth, were ecstatic. "Isn't it wonderful?" my mother gushed over the phone. "They're perfect for each other." My throat tightened. How could she say that? Didn't she see the pain they were causing me? I couldn't tell them. How could I burden them with this knowledge? How could I shatter their happiness? So I played along, forcing a smile, offering congratulations I didn't feel. The charade was exhausting, each forced smile a fresh wound on my already battered heart. I needed answers. Confronting Mark was out of the question, but I had to know about my sister's involvement. Had she known about me? Had she been the other woman all along? The thought was unbearable, yet I couldn't shake it off. One evening I found myself at her doorstep. "We need to talk," I said, my voice trembling. The conversation was strained, filled with denials and justifications. She claimed it was all very recent, that they hadn't started dating until after Mark and I had broken up. But her eyes, filled with a flicker of guilt, told a different story. I knew the truth, even if she wouldn't admit it. The invitation arrived, a gilded cage of my own misery. The date circled in an elegant script, a constant reminder of their betrayal. Part of me wanted to tear it to shreds, to scream my pain from the rooftops. But another part, a small wounded part, clung to the hope of exposing their lies. Maybe, just maybe, if I confronted them at the wedding, the truth would come out. Maybe then, my family would see them for who they truly were. The thought, however misguided, gave me a sliver of strength. I would go to the wedding, not to celebrate but to bear witness. The weeks leading up to the wedding were agonizing. Each day felt like a year, every thought consumed by the impending event. My friends urged me to reconsider, to prioritize my own well-being. "You don't have to go," they pleaded. "It'll be too painful." They were right, of course. It would be excruciating. But I couldn't shake the feeling that I had to be there. Maybe it was a need for closure, maybe a desperate hope for justice. Whatever the reason, I knew in my heart that I couldn't stay away. The day dawned bright and sunny, a cruel mockery of the storm raging inside me. I watched from a distance as guests arrived, their faces alight with joy. My stomach churned. How could they be so happy when my world had crumbled? The ceremony began, the familiar vows echoing in the air, each word a fresh stab to my heart. I watched as my sister, radiant in her white gown, gazed adoringly at Mark. He smiled back, his eyes filled with what seemed like genuine affection. Was it all an act? Or had I been blind to his true nature all along? As the ceremony concluded, a hush fell over the crowd. The air was thick with anticipation, everyone waiting for the next moment, the next word. It was a beautiful day, filled with love and joy, or so I thought. The photographer, adjusting his camera, accidentally knocked over a bag. It was a small, almost insignificant moment, but it set off a chain of events that would change everything. Photos spilled out, scattering across the floor. They fluttered like leaves in the wind, each one a snapshot of a memory. One caught my eye, standing out among the rest. It was Mark and my sister, their arms wrapped around each other, their faces pressed close. They looked so happy, so in love. My heart sank as I realized what I was seeing. But it was the date on the photo that sent a chill down my spine. It was a detail that couldn't be ignored, a piece of evidence that shattered my world. It was from a year ago. A year ago, when Mark and I were still engaged, planning our future together. The realization hit me like a ton of bricks. A year ago, when Mark and I were still engaged. My blood ran cold. It was true. The betrayal was real, and it was staring me in the face. I felt a mix of emotions: shock, disbelief, and an overwhelming sense of hurt. They had been seeing each other all along. Every smile, every touch, every whispered word between them was a lie. They had been living a double life right under my nose. The lies, the deceit, it was all too much. I felt like I was drowning in a sea of betrayal. How could they do this to me? How could they be so cruel? I felt a surge of anger, raw and powerful. It coursed through my veins, igniting a fire within me. I couldn't just stand by and let this happen. I had to take action. I had to do something. I couldn't let them get away with this. I had to confront them, to make them face the consequences of their actions. I had to expose them for the frauds they were. The truth had to come out, no matter how painful it might be. It was time to take a stand, to reclaim my life and my dignity. I stood up, my chair scraping loudly against the floor. All eyes turned to me. Ignoring the gasps and whispers, I walked towards the happy couple, the incriminating photo clutched tightly in my hand. "You lied," I said, my voice shaking with rage. The room erupted in chaos. My sister's face paled, her carefully crafted composure crumbling. Mark, however, just smirked. "Don't make a scene," he hissed. "No one will believe you." But it was too late. The photo was there for all to see. The date, undeniable. The aftermath was messy. My family, initially disbelieving, was forced to confront the truth. The wedding, of course, was off. But the damage was done. The betrayal cut deep, leaving scars that would take time to heal. I distanced myself from my sister and Mark, severing ties that had been irrevocably broken. The pain was still there, a dull ache in my chest, but it no longer consumed me. I had faced the truth, no matter how painful, and in doing so, I had taken the first step towards healing. The experience, though devastating, had changed me. It was as if a storm had swept through my life, leaving nothing untouched. The waves of emotion crashed over me, relentless and unyielding, forcing me to face the raw, unfiltered truth of my existence. But it had also shown me my own strength. I had survived. In the midst of the chaos, I found a core of resilience I never knew existed. More than that, I had risen from the ashes, stronger and more resilient than before. I was no longer just surviving, I was thriving, embracing the challenges with a newfound vigor. The road ahead wouldn't be easy. It stretched out before me, winding and uncertain. But I was prepared. Each step forward was a testament to my determination, a promise to myself that I would keep moving, no matter how difficult the journey. There would be days when the pain felt fresh, when the memories threatened to overwhelm me. On those days, the weight of the past would press down, and the tears would flow freely. But I had learned to embrace those moments, to let the emotions wash over me and then release them, like waves receding back into the ocean. But I knew now that I was not defined by their betrayal, a life where betrayal had no place. As I closed the door on the past, I stepped into a new dawn, ready to embrace the horizon with open arms. My journey was far from over, but I walked forward with confidence, knowing that I had the strength to face whatever lay ahead.